after the High Court decided to wait until next week to announce whether the ACT's marriage equality laws are constitutional. The federal government has challenged the ACT laws, arguing they're inconsistent with the Federal Marriage Act and telling the High Court marriage is between a man and a woman. 47 couples have already registered to marry in Canberra, some of them within days, but the court's decision next week could mean their unions will be overturned. James Glenday reports.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Lovely place to stand.
Glenda and Jennifer Lloyd are checking out wedding locations around Canberra. They're going to be married on Saturday, and they'll be among the first lesbian couples in the country to legally wed under the ACT's same-sex marriage laws.
Well, we've both been married before. We were previously in heterosexual marriages, and we feel that we understand what marriage is. We really feel that to be married is a very special thing that we want to share with each other.
Gay and lesbian couples celebrated when the ACT's laws passed the Territory's Assembly earlier this year, but their hopes and dreams hinge on the High Court. The Commonwealth's challenging the constitutional validity of the legislation.
The Commonwealth has legislated in relation to marriage. It did so in 1961. And when it did so, what it was intending to do was to remove all the separate little state laws about marriage and have just one law for the whole of Australia. Where things get complicated is in 2004, when the Commonwealth specifically changed its legislation to say that marriage is between a man and a woman.
Constitutional lawyer Professor Anne Toomey says that may have created a legal loophole in the Marriage Act that the ACT can exploit.
So now the ACT comes along and argues, well, the Commonwealth's Marriage Act covers the entire field of marriage in relation to opposite-sex couples, but not in relation to same-sex couples, and that the states and territories can come in and legislate in that area.
The ACT government's view and our legal advice view is that our laws can operate concurrently with the Federal Marriage Act, the Commonwealth Marriage Act. That's the argument that we have consistently put, and that's the one we will maintain.
Restore this country!
Few issues inflame passions like gay marriage. Today's High Court hearing attracted a few opponents and proponents.
Today is unprecedented and a very important day in the decade-long campaign to achieve marriage equality in this country.
Supporting marriage equality, thank you.
But some gay marriage campaigners like Brian Gregg want the ACT to go back to the drawing board. He says the laws are fatally flawed because they clash with federal legislation.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I believe the motivations of the ACT Assembly was not really to genuinely advance the cause of marriage equality, but to play a political game with Tony Abbott. I think it's a provocative act designed to create the situation where lots of same-sex couples are seen to be getting married in the media and then have the Abbott federal government come in and kill the party.
I strongly disagree. I think if anything it's engaged more people in the debate. It's encouraged more understanding of the issues faced by couples in a same-sex relationship.
To truly have marriage equality in Australia, we need to have the reform of the Federal Marriage Act. It is the federal act that defines marriage for Australians.
Sydney City Councillor Christine Forster is gay, and she's also Tony Abbott's sister. She hopes that if the ACT laws are ultimately struck down, there'll be action at a federal level. She claims the coalition is slowly moving towards a conscience vote on the issue.
If I was a Canberran, I would want to be getting married to my partner on the weekend under this legislation if it stands. It will be very upsetting for them if this and understandably so, if this legislation is struck down. So, at a personal level, I really hope it isn't.
Late today, the High Court reserved its decision until Thursday next week. That leaves a 5-day window for couples to get married.
It's always possible that on the 12th or after, the High Court will invalidate the ACT marriage equality law and therefore those marriages as well. We hope that doesn't happen. But even if it does, the fact that those couples have been able to marry, I think, is a really important step forward.
Yeah, I like the necklace.
Yeah, I like the collar.
Yeah, that could work.
Glenda and Jennifer Lloyd are shopping dresses and they're ecstatic the wedding will go ahead. They only hope their marital bliss lasts for longer than a week.
I just want to be normal. I just want to get married, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
James Glenday reporting. A Gold Coast property deal involving the Queensland Government and the Gold Coast Mayor is raising questions.